composure. Still, it's perfectly understandable why I'm angry. I'm sure everyone present would agree.
Yes, ma'am. Please, don't beat us anymore. We're gonna die.
Nice delivery.
I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying sounds in the night.
That's not creepy.
There are ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying.
Huh? What was that sound?
There it is.
Jeez, I think what actually makes it unsettling is that I expected a woman's cry, but this is a man's cry.
It's coming from that direction.
That's, for some reason, makes this extra unsettling.
As I thought. There's a hidden structure.
Wow. It's like they tucked another hospital into this one. Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here. Let's keep exploring.
Why the hell was I just thrown outside? What? Huh? Oh, because you want me to activate all of these with Dendro Traveler now. Oh yeah, the only reason I didn't actually end up exploring this place is because I don't need to use Dendro Traveler. The only reason why I didn't end up exploring this place is because when I got here, I broke the floor and I couldn't leave. Anyway, it's a good thing we have Kale.
I'll ensure your safety.
Just do this. There's another one over there.
Yep.
I don't gotta fight for this one, do I? Okay.
Bubba, get them! By royal decree. Wingblade.
I don't even know what I'm thinking. Ain't she gonna die? Really? Make it simple for me. Now that was a waste of time. Didn't need that to just happen.
Fräulein.
You're toast!
Well, every time I get into a fight in Sumeru and hear this song, it's always just a fucking... I need to get the battle over because I don't want to listen to this music.
Bubba, get them! By
That's
royal
kind of the same thing in Sonic Frontiers with the I'm Here song. It's absolute garbage. And I think it's supposed to be in like every fucking boss fight. Oh my god.
Nice and spicy.
I didn't just do that. I didn't just let my only Dendro character, I just let die to something so stupid. God damn everything in life. Okay, well, it's not anywhere outside. It's up there. What the hell was I thinking? How are they doing here? So, how's the weather? How's life? This is not actually going to make this go any faster. Oh. Fishing for the catch. Oh, so they tell you when they're unavailable for co-op? Man. Oh my god. Every single person who is on my list here, I can guarantee tell you that anybody who has reached adventure rank 60 they put money in the game. Like, they totally put money into the game. Man, who's this guy? Never heard of him. Never heard of Alex. Nah, never heard of him. Oh, God damn it, just aim. This ended up taking longer than it needed to. Now we need to take Collet off the team.
We may leave at any time.
Yes, I had to blow those things up. Patient abs, male, 23 years old, mole on the left side of forehead and left-handed. While his condition remains very serious, survival will be difficult without professional medical care. The patient's survivability, once found, immediately inform. Don't give up, stay positive. All beings are under the watchful eye of the divine, so don't ever give up. The rest of the document has been rendered unreadable by weathering. The same thing. This week's meals. Keep a balanced diet, rest regularly, and maintain a good mood. Monday, minty bean soup, taishan, lunch. Curry shrimp, panpari, dinner. Tuesday, salad, biryani, lunch. Fish with cream sauce, potato boat, dinner. Wednesday, shakshuka, bean cake, lunch. The remaining sections are blank. I wonder how much of that I butchered. In case of emergency, contact the physician on duty immediately. Monday, Ibrahim. Tuesday, Wednesday, Amudi. The remaining sections are blank. There seems to be a darkened remains of a stern stem inside the vase. It was probably used to hold flowers. The words for Aven are at the bottom of the bottle. It seems to have been a gift for someone named Aven.
Look! There's someone over there!
We need to be careful.
Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without alarming him.
Dude, there's no way you're gonna tell me we're gonna get this guy out of here and he's not gonna, like, do something. Like, have some sort of power that was put inside of him so that when we find him, we get screwed over. I mean, there's a fucking resurrection thing here.
Wait,
Or maybe it's the way that roots are formed.
you're...
He can't
He's a
see,
zombie.
And his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's grandfather. Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holds up in a forest and mumbles stuff about training?
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life.
So how did he become like this?
Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back for him. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Loaded with people?
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. In their haste, they failed to notice Razak hiding in a corner. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos.
What, the guy who lost his mind?
Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
The Eremite guy who went mad.
Oh, now that you mention it, they're acting the same way.
Correct. The Academia is behind all of this. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the Academia spread a false rumor of King Deshret's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to Aru village. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the Academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto King Deshret's followers. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since King Deshret's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises. Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of King Deshret and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an Academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the Academia that brought the scholars to Aru village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons.
I see.
An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean, and knowledge comes from people's brains?
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night, when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Hyman doesn't want to think about this.
How did you learn this technology?
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process.
This makes me think about the neuromods in Prey, where one day of the neuromods being extracted could turn into your entire life. That's exactly what Alex did.
Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
But Hyman's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
No, that can't be right. Most of the mad scholars had made contact with the divine consciousness in the forest. That's what the Academia is after. It's also safe to assume that this knowledge has something to do with the Vitui, the Doctor, and also the Balladeer. They're using divine knowledge capsules to turn the Balladeer into a god.
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer.
The Academia needs people who have been exposed to the divine consciousness.
That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to. However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge? The academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge. But what is their ultimate goal? I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress, then the academia may as well shut its doors.
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed. This matter needs to be corrected, just like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well. What do you plan to do about that? Save every last person?
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
Your motives are more specific and personal.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I want. The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take action for the sake of a few strangers.
Though he rejects the notion of greater moral responsibility, he justifies his actions because they are true to his personal motivations. Someone like him might actually make for a better ally.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out. Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset, her life would definitely be a lot easier.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that.
Well, okay. So, what do we do with him?
He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru Village.
Can I still explore the place a little more? Okay, I can. Thank goodness for that. There's gotta be like something else around here that I can look at. Yeah. There's a name inscribed on this bowl. Hakim. If there weren't crooked carvings of Artabaz and sugar jar on them, it would be difficult to imagine this dirty clay jar was ever used to store sugar. There's a name inscribed on this bowl. Avin. Man, if only they could have turned this into a true horror segment. I mean, you had the creepy cries. You know, the trophy for getting to reputation level 10, apparently some people already have it. I'm starting to think that when trophies like that are first around, I think that the 0.1% is both people who actually, it's so tough that only certain people actually get it, like I have for The Last of Us in grounded difficulty. But for trophies like that, where it's totally not even possible for anyone to have even reached that yet, it totally had to be like testers who had to make sure the trophy actually worked. I think to this day that the percentage of people who beat The Last of Us on grounded difficulty is still a 0.1, and I'm glad to be one of them. It might be a 0.2 by now.
You must be tired. You should rest and take some water.
What's the situation?
Who's this?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar hospital served as the Academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while now. Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village, almost as if they knew we were on their trail.
Yeah, why is that?
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the Academia.
Huh? Are our friendships that shallow?
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue.
Care to share your thoughts?
Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
So what you're saying is... Sino's the mole. Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Alhaitham, since you were always acting alone.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the Academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you? If you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The Academia is monitoring me?
It's not that simple. The Academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you. Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the Academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember seeing the thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment, everything.
You're saying that the Academia entered my information into the Akasha too? But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be added into the Akasha.
The Akasha is capable of computation. The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
It predicted my every move.
The Academia has been watching you longer than you think. However, the fact that you resigned is proof that their suspicions were well-founded.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the Academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from. Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
Exactly.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it now. If the Academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest place would be...
One step behind him.
Yep, that's right!
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going.
You're getting smarter, Paimon.
I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After him! Please,
Dehya already went.
I want to go too.
Too dangerous for you.
You want to go too? If so, you have to promise you'll stay safe.
I want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be careful and not cause any trouble.
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Alright.
Yay! Let's go! Remember to pack some food with you. Paimon feels like we're missing someone, though.
I'll be awaiting your good news.
You know, one thing I've kind of been like, that we haven't seen in the desert that I feel like we should have seen? Quicksand. That just randomly popped into my head. Like, is that going to be like a feature in the, when the rest of the desert comes out? I think it's significant enough. I feel like we need some new additions to the gameplay of Genshin, to be honest. It's kind of one of the reasons why I've gotten bored. Because it's just the same old things for me, because, well, it's easy for me to do. Just swap to nice and spicy, Fischl, and then Jean, and then finish him up with a Traveler. I've never really needed anything else. Crap. Oh, we're finally going out here. We're gonna get close to the pyramid, and it's supposed to be all, like, serious and shit, but I've already cleared the pyramid, so there's not gonna be any red sky. They're gonna be like, do you see the stuff coming out of the pyramid? And I'll be like, no, I've already cleared that. Actually, it's going into the pyramid, since the pyramid was sucking in energy.
So, where do we go from here?
Cerno, do you remember the route you took?
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
I know the desert like the back of my hand. Is that because you play here a lot? Yep. One time, Grandpa almost got lost in the desert, but I was the one who brought him back.
There's something here. What's this?
It's buried in the sand. Looks like we'll need to roll up our sleeves and do some work.
And Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work.
Now's the time for complaining, Paimon.
Okay. So, we have to dig it out? Whatever's down there looks like it's buried really deep.
I really hope you can't hear my PlayStation fan, because again, I'm sitting
These
as
are
far away
likely
as
fragments of
possible.
an academia-developed device, something akin to a headset. Looks like there were more than one village keeper. They must have been escorted this way, because there are device fragments scattered around here. Let's split up and search the area. Chances are that we'll find other things nearby.
I hate hearing that PlayStation fan get louder and louder.
Is this what we're searching for? It looks kind of scary.
This is definitely a device used to extract divine knowledge.
How did it end up buried in the sand? That can't have been part of the plan. They must have been attacked along the way.
Wait, what? Grandpa, I hope you're okay. Don't worry, your grandpa's gonna be fine.
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they left fairly recently.
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. Given that the device had been entirely covered by sand, I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
I agree.
Let's keep going. They can't have gone far.
Ugh, but running on sand is so tiring.
You're Shut up.
But you're flying, aren't you, Paimon? Is flying over sand tiring too? Ugh, of course it is!
If they make one more joke about Paimon floating and she's saying she's running, I'm gonna get mad. Alright? I'm
Voices
tired of that
over
joke.
there. It sounds like an argument.
Dehya probably already found them.
Whoa, you have really good ears.
Don't get any closer. They'll notice us.
Dehya's talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen in.
If you had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room for us to...
You're one of us. We would never lie.
Scholars. You don't know as much as I do. Need me to...
I knew it. That's our Dehya.
Dehya? Why would you... Dehya!
Oh, you goddamn idiot.
Hey, what are you doing?
Huh?
Didn't you say you'd help me find Grandpa? Why are you on their side?
Well, look who's here. Ain't that something?
This complicates things.
You've betrayed Aru village?
So, this is the great General Mahamantra. Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this motley crew. Seen for yourself. I have the means and methods, and my ideals are far more admirable than theirs.
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman. You of all people should know that.
Wait, what's going on, Dehya? Whose side are you on here?
Shut it, Paimon.
Damn. I love you. I need you now.
It doesn't matter. Whichever side you pick, nothing can deter us from the grand mission of resurrecting King Deshret. Once our Lord of Old returns to this land, we will have a new beginning.
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that more than anyone. Have all your years as a merc taught you nothing about placing hopes in a ruler?
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of King Deshret.